ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 2, Verse 31. इत्थं गजेन्द्र स यदापसङ्कटं प्राणस्य देहि विवशो यदृच्छया अपारयन् आत्मविमोक्षणे चिरं दद्याविमां बुद्धिम् अथाभ्यपद्यता. When the king of the elephants saw that he was under the clutches of the crocodile by the will of providence, and being embodied and circumstantially helpless, could not save himself from danger, he was extremely afraid of being killed. He consequently thought for a long time and finally reached the following decision. Mm. King of elephants. Mm. So he tried hard to save himself, but the crocodile became stronger and stronger, and Gajendra became weaker and weaker. Actually, this is very important lesson for us. Generally, when we have some material problems, sometimes problems come and go very quickly. When problems come and go very quickly, then our mettle is not tested. Our surrender to Krishna is not tested. Now, testing happens when the suffering prolongs. So the suffering becomes stronger and stronger, and we become weaker and weaker. Mm. Mm. And many times, devotees who undergo this kind of very severe suffering in life, prolonged suffering, they even lose faith in Krishna because their expectation is that the outcome of doing bhakti is that problems should decrease. And because problems persist, become stronger, etc., devotees sometimes lose faith, Huh. So here, Gajendra is also in a very similar situation. He was in real trouble. He feared now. He's saying in this, he's extremely afraid of being killed. So he thought that he's going to die. Mm, mm. But we should understand here, it's also saying under the clutches of the crocodile by the will of providence. So whatever is happening in the life of a non-devotee is providence. Whatever is happening in the life of a devotee is Krishna. Right? But it is either his will directly or his will indirectly. It's his will directly for devotees who have surrendered, and it's his will indirectly as karma phala for those who are not surrendered or non-devotees. Either way, that providence is very strong. We can't just escape this providence. And it's saying here, being embodied and circumstantially helpless. Because Gajendra was in the body of an elephant, he was embodied in the body of an elephant. And circumstantially helpless. Why circumstantially helpless? Because he got caught in that situation, is one way of thinking about this circumstantially. The other is being in bodily consciousness, we become circumstantially helpless. Both ways we feel helpless. and he could not save himself from danger, and he was extremely afraid of being killed. This is very, very difficult situation. I experienced this many years back. Mm. So when this fear of death comes, it's very difficult. It's very difficult, because we're so attached to the body, and when this thought comes that we have to leave this body, it can be very distressing. But that is the reality. And as devotees, we have to come to accept this fact, saying one day we are going to go. One day we're going to leave this body. So leaving the body is not something special. How we leave the body is the special thing. But we should not be afraid of death. Because body is there, body will go. In fact, devotees rejoice, said themselves. Of course, other devotees feel sad if when other devotees depart, but the devotee themselves who are departing, they'll feel bliss because they're going to go back to Krishna. He consequently thought for a long time and finally reached the following decision. Now, as an elephant, he was in distress, but he was able to think. And he came to the following decision, which was a great decision. Purport: everyone in the material world is engaged in a struggle for existence. Everyone tries to save himself from danger. But when one is unable to save himself, if he is pious, he then takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Person of Godhead. So this is also very, very important. Most people in the material world are not pious. And when they get into real danger, they don't come to Krishna. They frantically run from one doctor to another, one place to another, spend their money, do this test, do that test, but Krishna doesn't come to their mind. It's strange. It's strange because logically you're trying hard, but nothing is happening. Many times, people can't even figure out what is going on. What is the diagnosis? So life can be very tough. Material energy is very strong. For devotees, it's very simple because, whenever we get into this struggle of, okay, we are going through something, we don't know what's going on, etc., etc. It's simply time to surrender to Krishna. It's so simple. Because if the diagnosis was there in the karma phala, then it would have come. Or if Krishna desired it, it would have happened. But if it has not happened, that means it is Krishna's will that we go through that suffering. So we just take shelter of Krishna, saying that Krishna, okay, up to you. Like what Prahlad did. Some of these things we should learn to incorporate in our life. Devotees are happy when everything is going fine, but when it gets tough, I have seen many devotees breaking down. But that breaking down is simply an indication of lack of complete faith in Krishna. We should have faith. What is our problem? We are in touch with the greatest, the most powerful, everything, the everything of this world, right? And he is on top of that. He is so compassionate. He just loves his devotees. What is our problem to depend on him? Why don't we depend on him? So sometimes, when devotees go through this kind of trouble, I tell them, you're so fortunate. Because first thing is that you are losing attachment to your own body. You understand saying that it's for Guru and Krishna, and then somehow or the other, I have to use it in Krishna's service. Number one. Number two, you become dependent on Krishna. Dependent on Krishna's will. Krishna's will for what? Not that I want to, come out of the situation and then enjoy. No, I may desire to come out of the situation simply because I want to serve Krishna more, better. Krishna, I'm not able to serve you nicely. That feeling has to be there. But non-devotees, they don't take shelter of Krishna. They just take more shelter of their material position. Maybe influence, money, this, that, and all that. But unfortunately, they can't do anything about it because it is providence. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna artho artharti jignasu gnani cha bharatarshava. Four kinds of pious men, namely one who is in danger, one who is in need of money, one who is searching for knowledge, and one who is inquisitive. So this artho, Prabhupada is translated here as one who is in danger. Otherwise, in Bhagavad Gita, he translated it as one who has some kind of problem. It could also be that problem could be so big that he's in danger. So, but if he is pious, then he begins to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Now, note this word, he begins to take shelter, not that he has taken shelter. He begins to take shelter because the process of taking shelter of Krishna is long drawn. It takes a long time. It takes a long time. Many times we think that we are surrendered, but we are not surrendered enough. And which is why sometimes in some devotees' lives, suffering prolongs. Especially initiated, sincere devotee, suffering prolongs because Krishna knows that there is still something. This little thing has to be removed, that little thing has to be removed. So he continuously works on us, so to speak. Works on us to prepare us, to make us fit to go back to him. It's Krishna's special mercy. Mm. Mm. But the whole point is about taking shelter, more and more and more dependent. Krishna, up to you. But I want to serve you. Okay, but if you don't want me to serve you in this body, then it's up to you. Like Prahlad, the mood was that if Vishnu wants to protect my body, he will protect. It's his will. I don't have any desire that way to live, but I want to serve. I want to serve. The king of elephants. Yeah, why do we take shelter? In order to be saved or to advance? Yes, we want to advance. The king of the elephants, in his condition of danger, decided to seek shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. This was his decision. This was his glorious decision to take shelter of Supreme Lord. After considerable thought, he intelligently arrived at this correct decision. Considerable thought. Materialists make considerable thought to think about which is the next solution path to go. Where do I find? Where do I try now for the solution? But devotees understand, saying, "Oh, I tried. Nothing is happening. Okay, Krishna, up to you." Such a decision is not reached by a sinful man. Very simple. Not reached by a sinful man, not reached by people who are self-centered, who believe in their own capabilities. They don't surrender to Krishna. They surrender to their doctor, they surrender to their medical science, they surrender to those relatives who think that they know more and give some advice, but they don't surrender to Krishna. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that those who are pious can decide that in a dangerous or awkward condition, one should seek shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And this awkward situation sometimes comes awkwardly also. Sometimes just out of the blue, suddenly something appears in front of us. Which is why what devotees have to practice is we don't know when this so-called death is going to come. So what we need to practice, in thick and thin, call out Krishna's name. Headache, Krishna. Stomach pain, Krishna. Fever, Krishna. Tired, Krishna. Food is delayed, Krishna. Whatever it is. Vehicle puncture, Krishna. Maid did not come, Krishna. Because we become so used to calling out Krishna, 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 that when some really dangerous situation shows up out of the blue, Krishna. Finally, death will also come like that, Krishna. That is why this Gajendra is one of those. This pastime is so amazing. It's like Dhruva is one type, Prahlad is another, Gajendra is especially. Of course, these are not like necessarily um, expressing topmost rasa of devotion or anything, but it is very apt for most of us who are stuck in this material world, and everybody goes through difficulty. So it shows that eventually we have to take shelter of Krishna and leave it to him. And that's so fundamental for our progress in devotion that we absolutely need this. Those devotees who reach that stage of Raganuga or, Braja Bhakti, they're not going to call Vishnu, they're not going to call Narsimha, they're not going to call anybody. They're going to just call Krishna. Because they don't know anybody. They don't want to know anybody. But for us, we are still not so advanced. So these help to make progress. Namami Meghnataya Aturam Gajaha Kutah Karinya Prabhavanti Mochitum Grahena Pashena Vidhaturavrito Api Aham Chatam Yami Param Parayanam. Other elephants who are my friends and relatives could not rescue me from this danger. So he's thinking, this is his rationale. As an elephant, he's thinking, my other elephants, other friends, relatives, they could not rescue me. Then what then to speak of my wives? They cannot do anything. It is by the will of providence that I've been attacked by this crocodile, and therefore I shall take shelter of the Supreme Person of Godhead, who is always the shelter of everyone, even of great personalities, not just not helpless, just some person who is nobody in this material world. No, he is the shelter of everybody, small or great. So Gajendra came to the right conclusion. I shall seek shelter. I shall seek shelter. This material world is described as padam padam yat vipadam, which means that at every step there is danger. A fool wrongly thinks that he is happy in this material world, but in fact he is not. For one who thinks that way is only illusion. So we cannot think that we are happy materially. Of course, we can be happy in this material world spiritually. Hmm? At every step, at every moment, there is danger. What to do? Hmm. In modern civilization, one thinks that if he has a nice home and a nice car, his life is perfect. Sometimes I see this. Hmm. See vehicles on the road. Sometimes, some vehicle would have come so close to another vehicle, but nothing has happened. So people don't even know that they're in that kind of danger. So it's, yeah, for many people, okay, if that's such situation, nothing will happen because maybe their karma phala is good. Right? So uh, yeah, they didn't have any major karma phala to suffer at that point of time. But then those who get into something nasty because the time had come. So there is danger. In modern civilization, one thinks that if he has a nice home and a nice car, his life is perfect. Western countries, especially in America, it is very nice to possess a good car. But as soon as one is on, Prabhupada is also speaking the same thing. But as soon as one is on the road, there is danger because at any moment, an accident may take place, and one will be killed. And yeah, and in US, it's of course in India, it's also becoming worse. But in US, because the roads are also very fast. Mm. Once I was in Chicago area, and there's one expressway where the minimum speed is 100 miles. Minimum speed, 100 miles means like some whatever, 130 kilometers per hour or something is the minimum speed, not maximum speed. And if you go below 100, people will start honking from behind, saying that, hey, why are you slowing down? Go. So it's just crazy. I mean, my heart was in my mouth when I was driving on that road first time. And just imagine at that speed, anything can happen. Mm. nasty, and yeah, sometimes accidents can be nasty. The record actually shows that so many people die in such accidents. Therefore, if you actually think that this material world is a very happy place, this is our ignorance. Real knowledge is that this material world is full of danger. We may struggle for existence as far as our intelligence allows, and may try to take care of ourselves. But unless the Supreme Lord Krishna ultimately saves us from danger, our attempts will be useless. So we can try. If we want, we can try. Mm. So we know in the life of Pandavas, when that Brahmastra came, Pandavas just tried to take out their weapons from their whatever, right? But there wasn't time, and Krishna didn't wait for them. He just realized that there is no time available, and immediately he takes out he uses his Sudarshana chakra. So why did he do that? Pandavas did not ask. Pandavas did not ask for. Um, Pandavas did not ask for protection, but Pandavas were internally always surrendered to the Lord, so they didn't have to ask anything. The Lord was waiting to take care of them, to serve them. So as soon as the Lord saw that this Brahmastra is attacking the Pandavas, and there was no time for them to react, though they were great, bowmen, archers, fighters, etc. He just simply took care of the situation for them. Mm. So it's not that we should not try. If we try also, it depends on Krishna's will. If we don't try also, it depends on Krishna's will. Those who have more faith in Krishna may not even try. But those who don't have so much faith, those who think saying, no, 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 I have to try, only then I'll get a solution, it's okay. But if they're dependent on Krishna, still even for such people also Krishna reciprocates. But ultimately we have to understand that Tena vinatrinamapi na chalati. It is finally Krishna who is in control. If we just come to understand this one single truth, that we are not the controllers, we are controlled. Supreme Lord is a controller. So any situation comes in our life, we simply can depend on Krishna. Once we depend on Krishna, then there's no tension. Unfortunately, people have so much tension, anxiety. Oh, life is like this problem, that problem. Because they think that they're the masters and they have to take care of things. They have to solve for their situations, solve for their lives. But I keep repeating this multiple times. A small child, he doesn't think. He has a problem. He simply quickly runs to his parents, tells them, and runs away to play. He doesn't bother. What is the solution? How to go about it? How big is the problem? He doesn't care. He just told his parents, ran. So life of devotees is like that. Anything is there, Krishna, that's all over. No worry, no need to feel afraid, frightened, nothing. Supreme Father is there. He's so powerful. He can do, he can take care. Why should I worry? Mm. So very, very important to, unfortunately, modern education makes us think that we are in control. Mm. They say, take your future in your control. Take your future in your hands. Illusion. We can't take any future in our hands. We can't take the future of food that I eat getting digested. And that we can't take in our hands. You eat food, if there has to be some indigestion, what control do you have? Nothing. You're so much in ignorance, and this modern schools, colleges, the whole environment is atheistic. They just want people to believe less and less in God and believe more and more in their own ability, their own efforts. So the world is becoming less and less God conscious. So, and An animal, an elephant is teaching us, saying that we have to take shelter of Krishna. Hmm? Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj says, Balasya neha charanam pitarau narsimha nartasya chagadam mudanvati majjato nau taptasya tat pratividhir ya ihanjashe seshtas tavad vibhotanu vrutam tvadupekshitanam. Very beautiful verse. This is 7th canto, 9th chapter. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, oh, if somebody goes to the doctor thinking that the doctor is going to protect me, wrong. If parents are thinking I am going to protect my child, they're wrong. The only shelter is Supreme Lord. And 5-year-old Prahlad is telling this. And he implemented it in his life. It's not some theoretical stuff he said, right? And when he was in danger, he just depended on Vishnu, saying, okay, whatever you want. We may invent so many ways to be happy or to counteract the dangers of this material world. But unless our attempts are sanctioned by the Supreme Person of Godhead, they will never make us happy. Isn't it? So many people have so many, facilities, money, position, this, that. Are they happy? Hmm. Just imagine that person who has to go out on the street wearing bulletproof jacket. How much happy will he be? He's always in. Where can he wear bullet jacket? Only, the most important part of the body. That's all. But then if something goes here, something goes somewhere else, what can he do? So how much worried, how much tension he should have? So what use of all this protection? Hmm. We know in so many cases, right? Like where big politicians were shot dead in the midst of the biggest, best security. Who can escape providence? Nobody can escape. But only those who take shelter of Krishna can escape because Krishna will protect them personally. Those who try to be happy without taking shelter of Supreme Lord are moodas, fools, rascals. Namam duskritino moodaha prapadyante naradhamaha. Those who are the lowest of men refuse to take Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is so heavy. Those who are lowest of human beings, they don't take to Krishna consciousness. Because they think that they will be able to protect themselves without Krishna's care. It's such an illusion. It's such a big mistake. A child never does this mistake. It doesn't have as much intelligence as grown-ups, but a child doesn't make this mistake. It always depends on its parents. We are grown up, but we don't have this much intelligence that a child has. Saying that I need to depend on Supreme Father for care. So the decision of the king of the elephants, Gajendra, was correct. In such a dangerous position, he sought shelter of the Supreme Person of Godhead. See, like I said, it's very difficult. We are peacefully sitting here and thinking about Gajendra's situation, saying, yeah, he should have taken shelter. But just imagine when you are in the danger, in distress, when your brain stops working, you don't know what to do, you're in tension, you're anxious. That is the reason devotee association is important. When our brain works, brains of other devotees work. And they will help us. They tell, don't worry. Krishna is there. Take shelter of Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. We might fall down into material consciousness, thinking, oh my God, my body, what if it's going to go? What if something major happens? And this and that. Because normally people, when they get into situations, they think only negative things. One after another, only negative thoughts come to our mind. But when we are in the association of devotees say, Arey, why? Why are you being so negative? Krishna is there, he will take care. And this is an aspect of surrender. Rakshishyati iti vishwaso. Faith that Krishna will protect. Faith. The confidence. Vishwasa in Kannada they say. That faith, saying that no, yes, Krishna is there. Krishna will take care. So Gajendra finally he gave up, put up both his hands, saying that, oh, I can't save myself. So he decided, saying, I'm going to take shelter of Vishnu. Yakashtanesho balinontakoragat prachanda vegat avidavato brusham Bhitam prapannam paripati yad bhayan mrityu pradhavati aranam tamimahi. The Supreme Person of Godhead is certainly not known to everyone, but he is very powerful and influential. Therefore, although the serpent of eternal time, which is fearful in force, endlessly chases everyone, ready to swallow him. If one who fears this serpent seeks shelter of the Lord gives him protection, for even death runs away in fear of the Lord. I therefore surrender unto him, the great and powerful supreme authority who is the actual shelter of everyone. Supreme Lord is certainly known to everyone. The Supreme Lord is certainly not known to everyone. And everybody does not know the Supreme Lord. Only devotees know. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Others don't know Supreme Lord's position. So Gajendra is saying, they don't know, but he's still very powerful and influential. Influential person. He's very influential. Therefore, although the serpent of eternal time, which is fearful in force, meaning it's so powerful, we can't escape. And time endlessly chases everyone. Endlessly chases. Every minute, time is running behind us. Ready to swallow us. If one who fears this serpent seeks shelter of the Lord gives him protection. Simple. Not some major process. Simply take shelter of Krishna, Krishna protects. Why? Because for even death runs away in fear of the Lord. So what can death do to a devotee? Death can't touch a devotee who has surrendered to Krishna. Because one who is surrendered to Krishna is under, all the time is under the protection, care of Krishna. So how can death even come near him? So Gajendra is saying, I therefore surrender unto him, the great and powerful supreme authority, who is the actual shelter of everyone. Yeah, it's one thing to think of Krishna as, great, powerful, supreme authority. But devotees prefer to think of Krishna as, their master, their friend, their son, their lover. That kind of feeling is more relishable to pure devotees. And than the position of Krishna being the supreme powerful authority. But like I said, in the earlier stages of devotion, possibly this is what we need to do. Because otherwise we won't even get faith in Krishna to move forward. So just to get that faith in Krishna, we might think of him as powerful and take shelter of him. One who is intelligent understands that there is a great and supreme authority above everything. That great authority appears in different incarnations to save the innocent from disturbances. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. The Lord appears in his various incarnations for two purposes: to annihilate the dushkriti, the sinful, and to protect his devotees. The king of the elephants decided to surrender unto him. This is intelligent. One must know that great supreme person of Godhead and surrender unto him. Lord comes personally to instruct us how to be happy. And only fools and rascals do not see by intelligence this supreme authority, the supreme person. And so Krishna actually instructs us how to be happy. Ashantasya kuta sukham. So it's surrender, that's all. Once we surrender, we are peaceful. When we are peaceful, prasannatma, then we become happy on the spiritual platform. Then we come to the stage of Paramananda, supreme stage of happiness in relationship with Krishna. Kriti Mantra, Taittiriya Upanishad. It is out of fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing, that the sun is distributing heat and light, and that death is chasing everyone. Thus, there is a supreme controller, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam. This material manifestation is working so well because of the supreme controller. Any intelligent person, therefore, can understand that there is a supreme controller. Only intelligent people can understand, others can't. Furthermore, the supreme controller himself appears as Lord Krishna, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as Lord Ramachandra to give us instructions and to show us by example how to surrender unto the supreme personality of Godhead. Yet those who are dushkruti, the lowest of men, do not surrender. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord clearly says, Mrityu sarvaharashchaham, I am all devouring death. The Mrityu or death is the representative who takes shelter, who takes everything away from the living entity who has accepted a material body. So Mrityu takes away everything, this we know. No one can say, I do not fear death. It's a false proposition. Everyone fears death. However, one who seeks shelter of the Supreme Lord can be saved from death. One may argue, does the devotee not die? The answer is that a devotee certainly must give up his body for the body is material. The difference is, however, for one who surrenders to Krishna fully and who is protected by Krishna, the present body is his last. He will not again receive a material body to be subjected to death. After giving up this body, the devotee does not accept a material body but returns home back to Godhead. We are always in danger because at any moment death can take place. It is not that only Gajendra was afraid of death. Everyone should fear death because everyone is caught by the crocodile of eternal time and might die at any moment. The best course, therefore, is to seek shelter of Krishna and be saved from the struggle for existence in this material world, in which one repeatedly takes birth and dies. To reach this understanding is the ultimate goal of life. Now, of course, Prabhupada, based on the context, he says, what is the goal of life? So here he's saying, ultimate goal of life is to come to this understanding that I'm helpless and I have to take shelter of Krishna. And then elsewhere he says, goal of life is develop love for Krishna. Yes, all of them are true because each of them are our goals at certain stages in our life. So bottom line is that we have to take full shelter of Krishna. We have to stop bothering about our material life. This is the test. The test of complete shelter is to stop bothering about material life. Very tough. So only one who has taken full shelter of Krishna, who knows that when he is there, why should I worry? Only he will be tension-free, peaceful, happy. Otherwise, we have small and big problems to worry about, isn't it? We have small problems. Will the maid come today? Will I reach my office on time? Whatever, etc., whatever it is. Small problems. And we are just all the time in this material consciousness of trying to solve one problem after another. But devotee doesn't bother. He doesn't try much to solve his material problems. He just leaves it to Krishna. He doesn't have time. No time. He says, oh, something has to be done materially. Oh, okay, I don't have time. Krishna, what do? I don't have time. You're going to take away some service from me. Then I'll say, Krishna, I'll leave it to you. If you absolutely want me to take care of me, I will take care. Otherwise, just leave it to Krishna. And then Krishna knows this devotee is not interested. Why should I trouble him? And then he just takes care of it. So like this, this is real. This is real. So we should experience this. Who will experience? Who has faith? Only one who has faith in Krishna can experience these things in life. And the beauty is once we start experiencing these things in our life, our confidence, our faith increases further. So we think, oh, okay, Krishna is reciprocating. Okay, let me surrender more. Krishna will reciprocate more. We'll surrender more. Krishna will reciprocate more. Like that it goes on. But that first time can be very, very difficult. That very first time. And mostly for devotees, Krishna mercifully puts them to a situation where they put their hands up, meaning helplessly. They're forced to try this surrender to Krishna helplessly, not willingly. Willingly, we will not. We are such fools. We will not willingly surrender to Krishna. So then Krishna puts us into a situation where all our attempts have failed. Then we lift both our hands and call out to Krishna. And Krishna says, yes, yes, yes. Now you are coming. Come. I am here. And then he reciprocates. He is not like that sadist. In English, there's a word sadist. Sadist means he likes to see other people suffer. Krishna is not like that. Krishna is waiting for us to turn towards him, ready to reciprocate. So that is beautiful. That experience is beautiful when we depend without any expectations. It's not even that we ask Krishna, please solve this problem this way. No. We simply say, Krishna, no time, Baba. What to do? You still want me to take care of it? And then just leave it. Till the time comes, leave it. And that by the time we see that, okay, problem is resolved by itself. But we need to have faith to be able to do that. Anyway, so like I said, these are beautiful set of verses. So with this, we conclude this second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So if there are any questions, comments, we can discuss. Anything?
Hare Krishna,
Nothing?
Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu,
Pranam.
Pranam. Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, so my question is, because ultimately, wherever I read, whatever I hear, so it says you have to develop love for Krishna. But
Yeah.
I don't know, I might have asked it already, but
Yeah.
every time I get bewildered, because looks like I'm in the midst of everything, I'm the midst of devotees. So I'm actively, every time I'm enthusiastic participating, but that never comes upon me, that feeling or so. Is there something wrong, or is it
No,
just?
there's nothing wrong. I saw you so enthusiastically jumping up and down in Gaurati. So there can't be anything wrong in a person who jumps jumps up and down in Gaurati. It just takes some time, Prabhu. See,
Okay.
our problem is that till the time we think that we are something, we are important, that we are in control. Till the time these things, they might seem difficult for us. So you have a choice. So I'm telling you, you have a choice when we see from Shastric perspective. So you have a choice of either waiting for you to slowly come to this platform of realizing, of wanting to surrender, or like I said, if you are adventurous, you can ask Krishna for help. And then Krishna will come and drag you into the position where you don't have anybody else, and you simply surrender to him. So you can decide what route you want to take. If you're not adventurous, then slow we'll go, but we'll make progress. It's not that we're going to get stuck. But the important thing is, never should we feel proud. Don't feel that you are in control. This is the most important thing.
Okay.
Every time in life, every small thing, good, bad, ugly, it has to make us realize saying that I am not in control. I'm useless, worthless, small jiva. Till that Trinadapi mood comes into our mind, this will evade us. It will not get there. We will not surrender. That's why I said sometimes a failure in material life can be a big benediction. Like I said, Krishna gave me two big ones in my life, and I didn't even know any of this. And I couldn't, it took me so many years to digest it. Every devotee whom I used to meet, I used to ask, about suffering, about problems, about how these things work, what is this, how to understand. Everybody, literally,
Every visiting speaker I used to ask. But unfortunately, I didn't get the answer. Krishna, for some reason, he didn't want me to get the answer. He wanted me to go through the struggle myself. And that struggle included searching through the pages of Bhagavatam for a clear answer. For what is this? Why does this happen? What should I do? Right? And in that search, my false ego, which was so fat, started to thin down. To an extent, now I know that anything, readily, without having to make any effort, I feel I can't do it. It's not in my hands. But it took me 13 years of continuous hammering to get there. Right? So it can be tough. It can be slow. Right? But we should desire it, because like I've been repeating this Trinadapi mood, unless we get there, we can't get out of this material. So it just depends on how serious we are about all this, right? If we are really serious and urgently serious, then yeah, we can pray for like major intervention by Krishna, and Krishna will reciprocate. He will do the needful. And you can also say, Krishna, don't push me too hard. Huh? Okay. Krishna will say, okay, don't worry. I will take care of you. I'll push you and hold you. Otherwise, we'll have to wait and here. Maybe one day, our false ego will mend. But it's generally tough. Because this false ego is the result of multiple lifetimes of enjoyment and yeah, so it can be tough, but we have to get there. That's why I'm saying somehow, we have to pray for mercy, saying that, somehow Krishna, please. Sometimes I do in my life, there are certain things where I know that maybe I'm doing a mistake and I don't have the full faith to tell Krishna, saying, Krishna, okay, I'm ready for one more difficulty in life, because I'm like, in 13 years is still not over. Now, can I deal with one more to move me to the next stage in devotion? I'm not yet ready, maybe, right? So sometimes I feel, no, Krishna, I will only try. And I'm sincerely trying to get rid of the other anarthas, which seemed impossible for me. And, but I am seeing that Krishna is actually giving me mercy, helping me through various means to overcome those anarthas, which I thought will not go all this life. And I thought that this is what is going to hold me back in this material world. But Krishna is so merciful. So he will do the needful, but we should desire to get out of this false sense of pride, that I am the doer, I have the ability, I am everything. We have to get out of this. Somehow we have to try, keep trying. Again, I'm highlighting the same thing. Trinadapi Sunichena is on the top of our list for application. It's on the top of the list. It might keep going up and down, but we should always remember that is the top quality that is required.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, anybody? Okay, proceed. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तमंड की जय, हरे कृष्ण।